Yes. So has anything happened today? Did anything happen today in the NFL? Wow. Wow. I was kind of planning on going over some of these matchups, but we got some big news, man. We got some big news. Perry says, Dan, how are you? A lot of big news to talk about today. The Jets losing, LOL, yes. Them trading for Devontae Adams, the Cooper trade to the Bills, Jerry Jones being a cloud and threatening a radio host. I heard a little bit about it. I actually didn't read the whole thing, but the one thing that kind of stands out about the Jerry Jones thing is that he's starting to feel some of the pressure, some of the frustration starting to get to him. I kind of get it. I mean, I get it. I really do. I mean, Dallas is supposed to be a Super Bowl contender, and they're 3-3. So, a host was critical, I'm guessing, and he wasn't happy about it. All right. I can't even wrap my head around everything with the Jets. So here's the trade. If you haven't heard, here's the trade. It's a conditional third that can be a second. I'm looking at the conditions. It's going to be a third. Now, what I was spending part of my morning trying to figure out was how can you give up a third and then also give up a third for Hassan Reddick. I actually have no idea, but I do know they got an extra third from the Lions. So I'm not 100% sure how the trade compensation is going to work for the Jets. I've been trying to figure this out because the trade chart that I use, I can't find where the Jets have given up the draft pick for Hassan Reddick. That's another issue that's kind of like off to the side is the Hassan Reddick now is open to be traded. The Jets are willing to trade him. There's several teams. I'm looking specifically at the Detroit Lions that may want to take a swing at Hassan Reddick. There's a lot of hey, look, there's a lot of teams I think that could use a very talented pass rusher, but I'm looking specifically at Detroit, and that would really work out. I told the host he didn't know anything and didn't have the right to say anything about Jones. Wow. Here's the thing: he had every right to criticize Jerry Jones. I mean, that's kind of part of it. That's kind of part of the being a radio host and talking about Dallas Cowboys as being critical and positive when it's due. But let's be honest. I mean, what's going to get more ratings? Somebody trashing a team that's underachieved, or somebody who's saying something glowing and positive when the team's 3-3. They were expected to compete for a Super Bowl, and they also received a lot of criticism about not doing anything, not making a big move. And I actually was one of the people that really stood by. I was like, look, this is a 12-win team. They got a couple of offensive linemen in the draft, guys I really liked, guys I thought that would, contribute this year. Guyton got benched last week. Cooper Beebe's been solid. Nealon was a guy I really liked. I thought they got good value in the second round. Of course, he got hurt, but yeah, I mean, the criticism's fair. Criticism's fair. If I'm Jerry Jones, I understand being frustrated, but the criticism's well deserved. All right. Yeah, and as far as him threatening a job, I mean, look, man, This is a dude who's worth several $billion. I mean, you know, hey, if you're a big fight with somebody, you better win, better win. So, but yeah, they need Henry or any other good running back. I really thought Derrick Henry made a lot of sense. I really thought that Derrick Henry made a lot of sense. I doubt they signed Dalvin Cook to the practice squad. I have no idea why they didn't activate him. That said, Rico Dottle is not doing bad. I'll be honest with you. I don't have a problem with the Cowboys' talent. I've never been a Mike McCarthy guy. I wasn't sure it'd work. It doesn't look like it's working. So that's kind of what's going to happen after the season's over. Jerry Jones made it very clear. He signed CeeDee Lamb long term. He signed Dak long term. So here's what's going to happen. You have the right players per Jerry Jones, the owner. You have to get the right coach, and McCarthy's not it. So, all right. Broncos or Vikings rest of the season. That's a good one. That is a good one. I would lean towards the Vikings. The Surtain concussion is going to bother me a little bit. I really, now keep in mind, I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play against the Saints on Thursday. I don't know that for a fact. I was kind of looking over all the trades that happened, but I don't think he's going to play. Both are good defenses. Both are good defense. I'm assuming you're talking about fantasy football. I'm assuming you're talking about fantasy football, but yeah. Um, um, I would go with Minnesota personally. Not. I'll be honest. The matchups I think favored Denver. I think they're going to go against teams that aren't as good offensively for the most part. I love that defense that they're running in Minnesota right now. I love that defense. The Flores defense is just fun. It's exciting. A lot of really good players. A lot of really good players. Both are good options. This is a good one. If you had to get rid of one, which one, Wanda or Juju? That's a tough one. With Wendell, I think that when Neighbors comes back, he'll be kind of phased out a little bit. They really like this kid. He's a smaller dude. And that's what kind of bothers me. He's a guy who's more quick than fast. He's also a smaller guy. With Juju, the issues been, is he, can he stay healthy? Because when he's healthy, he just flourishes in Kansas City. I also look, I'm a little biased, but Mahomes is a better quarterback. Andy Reid's a better mind. You don't have Rashee Rice. You don't have Hollywood Brown. I would lean towards Juju myself. Now there's injury concerns with Juju, but that's it. I tag. That's a tough one. It really really is. I thought that when Neighbors got the concussion, he wasn't going to miss any games because he got it Thursday. 10 days, and he didn't play for a couple weeks. So it's not a good sign. But if he comes back and he's 100%, some things that they're doing in New York, and it's really hard to say because I have no idea. You got Slayton, you got Neighbors. Now you got Tyrone Tracy. You have to figure out that situation. With Kansas City, you're going to have Kelsey, but he's 35. I mean, let's be honest. And the Chiefs didn't go after Amari Cooper or Devontae Adams. I don't think they were going to. So I would lean towards Juju. I really would. I can't pronounce that. Soyan. Yeah. Did anything happen today? Nobody knows. Cat for life. What's up, brother? As I'd offer Devontae Smith or Devontae Adams, do I pull the trigger? I would hold on to Devontae Adams, but keep in mind, how fast can he integrate into this offense? I know he's familiar with the offense. I know he's familiar with Rodgers, but there's still some questions. So, I mean, if you got Devontae Adams, I would really hold on to him. I would not take Devontae Smith for him personally. That's just kind of my opinion. If I have Devontae Adams, I would start him and I would keep him. So if you got Devontae Adams, hold on to him. I'm assuming the way I'm reading this is you got offered Devontae Smith for Devontae Adams. No, hold on to Devontae Adams, and I would start him. I would. I made my picks video before this trade went down, but I would start him even though he's playing against Pittsburgh. Will he play? There's no guarantee. No guarantee, but I think he will. I think he will, and I would find a way to start him, depending on what your lineup looks like. But I would. Do I deal Schultz, A-Chain, and Arnold for Burrow and Madison? Boy, man, that's a good one. Madison's going to get more and more carries. Is he a legit number one? I don't think so. I'm assuming Schultz is sitting on your bench, but this is a guy that I really, really like. I think I was kind of expecting a little more productivity. I really thought, as far as fantasy is concerned, I thought Schultz might be a top 10 tight end, really hasn't produced that way. I'm assuming in this trade that you're making, you have a tight end already. Because if that's the case, I do like it, but you have to understand something with A-Chain and Madison. I'm predicting A-Chain carries are going to start going down, but he still has some value, especially in a PPR league. I mean, anybody on the Raiders is not going to be wildly productive. I'm going to level with you. Like Madison should be a low end too. The reason why I would make this move is I think Burrow is just the value of Burrow just goes way up. I mean, he's got Higgins, he's got Chase. They're in a situation where it's kind of funny. The defense played well last week, but they're in a situation where they look like hey, look, we may have to put up 30 every week. I don't know if Minnesota really feels that way. This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one. If you make this move, and I'll be honest with you, I need a little more information. I'm leaning towards yes. And the reason why I'm leaning towards yes is I'm assuming you have a tight end that you're starting over Schultz. Madison, you can't bank on to be a running back number one. I would say to be honest, he's a low end number two. I'm banking on that you're not using A-Chain. If that's the case, you're basically, if you isolate this Burrow for Darnold, I do like this a little bit. If Schultz has started for you, I wouldn't pull the trigger. Another thing about A-Chain is that I mean, I know he got some points earlier in the year for you, but I just don't see it. Um, I do like this. I do like this move. Uh, Keep in mind you're going to have some weeks where Flowers doesn't do anything. Um, so the one thing I would encourage you is that is there another player that you can get besides Madison? I'm just not a I'm not a huge Madison guy. I don't like anybody on the Raiders right now, to be honest with you, except for Bowers. Commanders, Bengals, or Eagles defense. This is another good one. Let's take a look at the matchups. I don't have them memorized this week. I should have, but I don't. Um, I have a weird feeling about the Commanders this week, and there's no logic behind it, none whatsoever. But I just got a weird feeling. I'm leaning. I like the Bengals against Cleveland. That would be very good. Eagles and Giants. That's normally I would lean towards the Eagles. I'm that game against the Browns really bothers me. Um, I would be honest with you. I'm leaning towards the Bengals. Even yeah, and the reason why I say that is I know the Giants didn't play well, but yeah, I'm leaning towards Bengals. Bengals or Eagles. I leaning towards Bengals. I would avoid the Commanders. I just got a weird feeling about that Carolina Washington game. No logic there, but I'm leaning towards Bengals. Go Bengals or Eagles there. The Jets are cap for life. You get yeah. In that situation, this makes a lot of sense. Um, the only thing I'm not a Madison guy. I would really. Is there another running back you can get besides Madison? And as far as this, I'm leaning towards it. But just remember, if you pull this trade, you're going to have some weeks where Flowers doesn't do anything. I mean, you're getting somebody who's going to be very inconsistent. If so, it's funny. I think that if the Jets made a move offensively and kept Salah, that would make sense. I'll be honest. What the Jets are doing right now is kind of crazy. I think that it's smart to move on from Hassan Reddick. It's a shame because with Jermaine Johnson going down, I'm a huge Jermaine Johnson fan. I really thought he was going to make the move to possibly be like an elite player. Somebody who could be in the same echelon as Max Crosby or Eden Hutchinson or either of the Bosa brothers. I thought he was going to be like that type of guy. With him going down, Will McDonald can play. I mean, he's a really good player, but I mean, having Reddick on that defensive line makes sense. Moving on makes sense. Um, I liked what I saw of the offense. If you believe the Bills had a um, if you believe that the Bills had a good defense, which I know they struggled against the run, but overall, I thought the Bills' defense was pretty solid. Um, it's just a disaster. I'm looking at next year and whoever takes over, like, what do you have? Are you going to have Rodgers? Are you going to have Adams? Do you have to keep that offensive coordinator? Usually the intern, if he does the interim head coach, if he doesn't stay, he's usually gone. It's kind of hard for him to go back to be just the defensive coordinator. Are you in a situation like the Raiders when if he does really good, do you let him keep the job? I mean, what do you do? Holmes is made for a move for a pass rusher. He when he's cheap and sign a. Um, I'm assuming you mean from the Bengals. So you got Dobbins and Jacobs. All right. That okay. So let's see. So you got Dobbins and Jacobs, and so what you want to do is you're not using A chain anyway. I kind of get why you have Madison. Um, I'll be honest. I like the move. I just don't like Madison. I mean, is there anybody else that you can get besides Madison? And then I would strongly consider pulling the trigger on this. And the reason why is that I mean you got three other guys I really like. I mean, I really like these guys, and you know, in this situation, you know, in this situation, by the way, I would keep Adams, and then you know you move Schultz, who's been underperforming. You're not using him anyway. Um, I mean, A Chain's got of a wild card. I think his production's going to go way down. It's just I'm not a Madison dude. I'm not a Madison guy at all. Um, and if you have Flowers, I mean, I'm sorry if you got Adams. Adding Flowers is interesting. Um, let me know what you do, man. Let me know what you do. I just not. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I like Burrow more than I like Darnold, but I don't hate Darnold. I mean, I think he's playing pretty well. I think he's playing pretty well. I mean, look, you're in a dome team. You got lots of weapons, but I think Burrow would be better. That dude is a guy that that dude is a guy that I kept on thinking. I have no idea who that other running back on the Bucks is. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea who that guy is. And I was watching him play and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Sean Tucker. Okay. Okay, Syracuse kid. I remember watching him play a little bit at Syracuse. I wasn't sure he was an NFL player, but I mean, two touchdowns. What am I looking at? 192 total yards. Yeah, I hope he continues. Bucky Irving. I mean, this is a dude who I really I kept on thinking Rashad White was going to be the guy. I did a video on the NFC South, and I said Rashad White, who came close to 1,000 yards rushing last year, would get 1,000 this year. No, Bucky Irving. I don't think he's really that 25 touch guy, but he could be next year. I really like the kid. Really like the kid. Uh, undrafted Barry Sanders Jr. I like it. I don't think he's that good. So yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think the Bengals against the Browns is pretty solid. I really do. I really do. So he signed a pass. So he won't trade for a good. Okay, so he signed a PSDN, a pass rusher, a defensive end from the Bengals, but he won't trade for a good pass rusher. I'm going to tell you something. With Hutchinson going down, in my opinion, practice squad. Okay. If I was the Lions, I would make a strong move for Hassan Reddick. I really would. You're close. So, Austin, what's up, brother? I traded Josh Downs for Marvin Harrison. Was that a good idea? So there is an injury issue with Harrison. I'll level with you. I'm using ESPN right now, but it was a concussion. That's why he didn't have anything last week. I don't understand the lack of targets and the lack of production. But I don't think it's a long-term thing. And I agree. I agree here. Not only here's the drill. Here's the drill. If you told me that if you told me Joe Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season, I might have wavered. But the Colts really like Anthony Richardson for whatever reason. They really, really, really like this kid, and they're dedicated to having him start. So I really like the move. And with Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't understand why he's not getting more touches. Keep in mind, he may not play next week. I mean, it's a Monday night game, so players usually get up for Monday Night Football. And by the way, I mean, the Cardinals, if they don't get a win here soon, Jonathan Gannon, he didn't have a good first year. A lot of people thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to be this dominant force in the NFL. I've heard a lot of people say he was, maybe the best wide receiver prospect they've seen in ever. I mean, take a look at these numbers. I mean, this is a guy. I mean, the hype on Marvin Harrison Jr. was crazy. I mean, there's talk about him being a Pro Bowler as a rookie, and what's he had so far? 17 receptions, 279, and 4 touchdowns. I mean, 4 touchdowns is solid. 4 touchdowns is really good. I like the trade. I really like the trade. Now, if Joe Flacco takes over, you may regret it a little bit. I think you'll be just fine. I really do. All right. I actually remember Sean Tucker playing at Syracuse, and I liked the kid. I just wasn't sure what kind of player he was. I mean, undrafted kid. I love stories like this. I have a feeling it's a flash in the pan type of deal, but you never know. As a Bucks fan, get White out of the building. By the way, the one thing that's interesting is I've always liked Rashad White. I've always been a big fan of his, but I think he has some trade value, even though he's banged up. I mean, he may be a guy that a team should look at. I'm looking specifically at the Dallas Cowboys. I think he'd fit in with the offense. Now, I'm going to say I've been negative on Dottle, but he's been playing well. But that might be a move, might energize some things. He's an excellent receiver. He's got some size. I mean, I like the kid, but I mean, Irving's just better. By the way, he's from Kansas City. I wouldn't mind him on the Chiefs at all, but I mean, I don't. If I'm Kansas City, I don't want to give up a lot of trade capital for him. If you're the Bucks, you know, if he has some value, you may want to consider a move. I don't know. I will say this: if you're a Bucks fan, it's a good time to be a Bucks fan. I mean, you know, if you're a Todd Bowles team and you're scoring 50 in a week, that's a win. I'm not saying I'm the biggest Bowles fan or supporter, but normally Bowles teams play pretty good defense, and now that you have some offensive weapons and firepower, that's a real dangerous team. I was really looking forward to. I was really looking forward to uh, diving into some of these AFC NFC matches. I just, you know, with these trades that just came in, and then Jerry Jones threatening to fire people. I mean, who knows? You know, hopefully we have some time to get over some of these matchups, because I do want to go over them. By the way, my NFL Week 7 picks video is here. Please check it out. Yeah, I do like this. I do like this. Brian Thomas Jr. is the best wide receiver in the draft. He looks like it. He really does. He will not get any consideration for rookie of the year as long as Jacksonville is a complete dumpster fire. But if Jacksonville can turn it around, and there is a possibility they could turn it around. I mean, they have talent on that team. The schedule is not brutal either. If you're Jacksonville, I mean, you know, you have the ability to turn some things around. Um, I mean, look, you got to win this week. You got to win this week. Um, Actually, correction, the schedule is brutal. The next four opponents: Green Bay, Philly, Minnesota, Detroit. I was looking at the end of the season. I mean, you played Tennessee twice. You got the Raiders. You got the Colts. Um, you know, if you can find a way to win, and if you can find a way to win against New England, find a way to steal. I don't know how. I mean, these are tough opponents, but if you can somehow go 2-2, um, and you enter the bye, um, I mean, you enter the bye what 4-7. I mean, I've seen weirder things. By the way, when Jacksonville advanced to the AFC Championship game, they were 4-7, and then they won 5 straight. So I mean, but yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. and he's got a lot of things I like. I mean, you know, it's just that I really thought Neighbors was the number one guy there at LSU. Um, Before he had the concussion, he looked like maybe the best player in the draft. So he really, I've never noticed an injury issue. I really thought, to tell you the truth, I thought he was really durable up until this year. And the reason why is you had some offensive line issues and some problems. But Tampa Bay really went out of their way over the last couple of years. I really like what Tampa's done. Um, in the draft and fixing their offensive line. I mean, they did a really good job. They drafted a guy I loved 2 years ago, Cody Mock. He occupies a guard spot. This year's draft, Graham Barton, plug and play. Um, Luke Godick, really solid right tackle. Tristan Wirfs, an excellent left tackle. I mean, so you look at this draft, every year you've drafted an offensive lineman either in the first or second round. You got the offensive lineman set up, and then you got your offensive line set up. You got your quarterback in Baker Mayfield. You have some really good weapons. I mean, there's a lot to like about Tampa. A lot to like about Tampa. Rashad White's never really been a dude who's been banged up before this year. I mean, honestly, he's been kind of durable. Um, Not only has he been durable, he's been productive. Um, if you look at his yards per carry, you're looking at 3.7 yards per carry. I get that, and you're like, oh no, but no, this guy can play, man. This guy can play. Yeah, he's durable. He doesn't fumble. He's an excellent receiver. I mean, the only negative about him is that when Bucky Irving enters the game, the offense just seems a little more energized. If Rashad White has some value and you want to trade him, I wouldn't blame Tampa Bay if they did that, but I might. This kind of makes a lot of sense. Do you really want to Do you really want to move forward with a couple injury or with a couple running backs that have an unknown? I mean, he is a 4th-round pick, so I kind of like it, to be honest with you. I kind of like getting Bucky Irving more involved, holding on to Rashad White. It wouldn't surprise me if some team wanted Rashad White. I mean, this is a dude who has some talent. There's a team. By the way, he played at Arizona State with Antonio Pierce and Jaden Daniels. The Raiders would be a nice candidate for him. But I don't know. As a Marvin Harrison Jr. owner, him and Kyler just don't have chemistry. A lot of balls and back shoulder misses. Nothing easy compared to the neighbor stick routes. Yeah, I have a buddy of mine, Corey, aka the Red Sea. It was kind of funny. We found each other on social media. We were two people that really didn't think that Kyler Murray should have been the number 1 pick to the Cardinals. We thought the Cardinals should have stayed away. Then we both admitted we were wrong, and then now we're kind of like, I don't know. There's a lot of issues there, but it's funny because as far as pure talent, I mean, there's not too many people more talented than Kyler Murray. There really isn't. He's just got he doesn't seem to me. He doesn't seem to have the right attitude. He's always seemed to lack leadership. I mean, the talent is off the charts. I think he's the fastest quarterback I've ever seen. And he has terrific arm talent. It's just I just think it's up here. I really do. And with Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, I'm not sure coming out of college. I've never seen a receiver. I think that he might be the best receiving prospect I've ever seen coming out of college. I mean, he caught everything. Tall, fast. Yeah, Perry. Yeah, he's got the talent. He just didn't have the drive. Sisu, what's up, brother? A lot of craziness in the NFL today. I agree, and I think because he doesn't really have the drive. I don't think he's taken the time this offseason. Like, I know Patrick Mahomes spends time down in Texas. He brings his whole receiving crew, down to Texas during the offseason. They all work out together. I don't know if Kyler Murray does anything like that or not, but why he hasn't developed. Look, he got a super, super talented dude. I don't understand. I don't understand. If Arizona continues to lose, they will make a coaching change. And You have to figure it out. You have to figure it out. I'll be honest with you. If I could move Kyler Murray, I would. I don't think you can. I really don't think you can. I don't think you have the value. I think you would eat too much cap. But there's not a more talented receiver than Marvin Harrison Jr. coming out of the draft ever. And if you can't make it work, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. And here's the thing: there should be easy routes available. I mean, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, who has more talent, Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones? And this isn't a knock on Daniel Jones, but all they did is they just force feed neighbors. I don't understand why you don't do this to a guy with this much talent. But yeah, if you're a Marvin Harrison Jr. Fantasy football owner, you probably drafted him early, and you're probably pulling your hair out. I don't blame you. I have the mighty start and sit question again, like every week. By the way, what a great question. Talking about, oh no, do I start the number one tight end in fantasy football or the number one tight end? Sisu, I'll be honest with you. You're in I would strongly consider trying to trade one of those guys. And by the way, depending on your team, you may be in that rare situation to have a tight end that you could flex. I like the Bowers matchup better. Bowers against the Rams versus Kittle against a tough Chiefs defense, but Kittle's such a good player. I would go with Kittle myself. I think Kittle, when healthy, I think you have to play him. I really, really do. But Bowers has a better matchup. Adams is finally gone. And by the way, I think everybody in the Raiders locker room's kind of breathing a sigh of relief. I think they're glad this is over and done with. I'll be honest, I didn't watch a lot of the Raiders in Pittsburgh. And the reason why is there wasn't much I was going to see. I personally was stuck with Minshew. That's what I would have done. But since you want Dayton O'Connell, how much better is Bowers going to be? Not be? I don't know. You have some, yeah, seriously, Sisu, this is, this is a good one because you have Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, or Higgins. I mean, these are some good options. I'm looking. I'm thinking you got to make some sort of trade here. But this is I would go with Kittle. God, Seattle has a tough matchup. Oh, Godwin, yeah. And when you get caught, God, God, this is a good one. God, I love the lineup. So, I'm a level with you. I mean, I would go with Tyreek Hill this week. I get why you would want to start Aaron Jones. God, you got a really good lineup, man. God, this is a good team. This is a good team. I would go with Tyreek Hill and I would go with Kittle. I really would. I mean, look, um if Kittle's healthy, I think you have to start him even with a guy like Bowers. And then I mean, these are some really good options. I would go with Tyreek Hill just because fresh off of a bye against a bad Colts team. This could be the week that Miami starts offense starts getting in high gear. Um, and the reason why I say that I like Tyreek Hill is I'm looking at the rest of your guys. You're just getting points left and right. So I would go with the guy with the most upside, which by the way, all three of these guys have insane upsides. Um, I almost think that you should be in a situation where you're making a trade or two because you can make a move like I mean I'm looking at you making a move moving Bowers and maybe somebody like T Higgins where you're selling high and just getting I have no idea who's available or who would want to trade, but wow. That, by the way, that's a tough. Who are you going to start? I mean, Daniels at home against a bad Panthers defense, or Mahomes on the road against a good 49ers. I mean, I hate to say it, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'd probably start Daniels. By the way, Sisu, great job, great team. Yeah, I would too. That said, I'm expecting Mahomes to have a big game. Um, you know, Perry, I think you're right, man. Corey, AK to Red Sea, I've been trying to get him to come on. Unfortunately, um, with Afternoon Delight, he works, and I've been trying to get him to come on because, um, you know, hey, you beat the Niners, you beat the Rams, and then you can't beat anybody else outside of the AFC West. I mean, it's a weird deal, man. It's a weird deal. Um, if I'm Arizona, I mean, if there was any way I could move on from him, I would. I'm gonna touch base. I want to answer this here. I understand. And by the way, I always believe in matchups. But yeah, I would go Jaden Daniels this week. Um, fresh off of a bye, I'm going to tell you this. I think Mahomes will have a good game, but yeah, I would go with Daniels. Perry, I think you could be right, and I'll be honest with you. His contract, if I remember correctly, his contract's just ridiculous. If you go ahead and you move on from him, it's you're just eating so much money. You're just eating so much money. Actually, thought I had the contract set up. The thing is with Kyler Murray is that there's this just this. I've seriously, this is not an exaggeration. He might be the best player to ever play Texas high school. So here's his contract. I'm pulling it up right now. Um, Basically, the way it's set up is that he almost has to be he almost has to be on the roster till 2028. Well, actually, hold on. I'm looking at this. Let me see if I'm reading this right. So if you let him go next year, you have a dead cap of 63 million. 2026, 20 million. Oh my God. Um, I mean, it's almost like you almost have to keep this guy. Oh Jesus. Oh wow. Your fantasy team's awesome. Dallas, on the other hand, um, I have to admit, I really, really thought Amari Cooper would be a Cowboy. I really thought Amari Cooper would be a Cowboy. We haven't even had a chance to talk about him going to Buffalo. The contract is just crazy. The talent's insane. I remember when Baker Mayfield won the Heisman in Oklahoma, and I remember there was some weird incident where they put Kyler Murray in for a series, and I said, I think this Murray kid's better than Baker, and Baker's going to win Heisman. I was just like, oh my God. I actually remember watching Kyler Murray as a freshman at Texas A&M, and I was like, "Oh my God, he might be the fastest player I've ever seen in my life." It's a weird story. I remember he was going to play baseball for the longest time. Finally, agreed to play football. I'm going to be. I think if it was up to Kyler Murray, money wasn't an issue. I think he would rather play baseball. But yeah, I don't think he really has to drive. I think Murray's part of the problem. I think they'll lose another head coach because of Kyler Murray, and then you have to figure out what to do. My man, pots and pans. Do I start Devontae Adams this week? Yes. Yes. I would start him. Full disclosure, I have no idea if he's going to be eligible to play. Steelers have a very, 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 very tough defense. It's risky, but yeah, I would. I mean, I would. I need to know a little more details about your roster, but I would probably, if you have Devontae Adams, I would start him from here on out. Who do I start in my flex? Addison, Javonte Williams, George Pickens, Wendell, or Mooney? Wow, that's a tough one. I really, really, really like three down running backs. Tough matchup against the Saints. Um, but I like three down running backs, especially ones with size. Um, I don't have faith in Seattle's defense, so if you decide to go with Mooney, I wouldn't blame you. I would not, out of these guys, Wendell Robinson, I would cross off the board. I don't know if Neighbors is going to play. You also have a very tough Eagles defense. That comes into play. Pickens is talented. Russell Wilson may start. I have no idea what to expect. Jordan Addison's interesting. Yeah, you have a Lions defense who played really well last week. I can see this being a game where uh, Addison has some value. Um, I personally feel that you could go with I would not do Wendell Robinson. I the other four I can make a case for. I'm leaning against Mooney, but I mean Pickens, Javonte Williams, and Addison I think are solid dudes. Look, it's kind of a personal preference. And Dave, you've heard me say this, and I know I repeat myself a lot, but it's kind of like, what flavor ice cream do you like the best? Is it chocolate or strawberry? I like Javonte Williams. I mean, this is a 3-down back. I really think that I said the same thing last week, I know, but I think you're going to get about 20 touches from this guy. And the other guys, there's no way you're getting 20 touches. Williams, I fully expect there to be a game where Williams, like it was 2 weeks ago, where he has over 100 total yards and about 20 touches and a touchdown or two, and I think it could be this week. Yeah, there's talk that Russell Wilson could start, and if that's the case, is that good or bad for Pickens? I mean, I have no idea. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards Javonte Adams. What do you do? What do you want to do? You have a rookie quarterback playing on a short week. I would lean towards a running game if I was Denver, but you never know. Which defense would you? What are my options? What are my options defensively? I'll give you some defenses I do like, though. I think Atlanta at home. You have Seattle traveling cross country. You also have a bad defense. Now, keep in mind, I can see a situation where Atlanta gets up and they give up some garbage time yards and points, which may hurt. But I kind of like Atlanta. Buffalo's interesting. Tennessee, I think, has a terrible, terrible offense, but you're on a short week, and this might be a team you overlook. I think Cincinnati, that could be a good defense. I mean, Cleveland's offense is just terrible. I mean, Jets and Steelers have good defenses, but they also have enough offensive players that I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but you never know. You could, and I mean, I think it's risky, but you could go with somebody like New England. A bad team with a good defense against a bad team that's struggling, and so that is a fantastic question. That is a fantastic question. What trade will be next, do you think? Okay, first of all, I do think that there is going to be another trade. I think Hassan Reddick will be traded very soon. I think we could have a Hassan Reddick trade very soon. I do want to answer this. I'm assuming this is Bug Killer. I'm going to answer your question also. I'm actually going to answer your question first. No disrespect, Perry. I'm going to answer your question first. I'm going to take a very quick commercial break, but when I come back with hour two, I'm going to answer your question. And Perry, I'm going to answer yours as well. Stay tuned as I take a very fast commercial break. I'll be back with hour two of Afternoon Delight. Stay tuned. As Afternoon Delight is on a commercial break, we want to remind you that BetUS is a proud affiliate of Dan Talks Football. I made my first $100 deposit and it was fast and easy, but check it out for yourself. The video's in the description below. Check out BetUS and start winning today. The award-winning NFL Week 7 Picks video is out. Make sure you watch it and drop a comment on how you think your team will do this week, or pick all 15 games. Your comments help. Check it out. The link is in the description below. Yes. All right. Yes. God. I'm Perry. Perry has a great comment. Like and subscribes, guys. Um, got BetUS linked up the channel. Yes. Do check out BetUS. One thing that I did is even before I made my first deposit, just by setting up an account, the preseason game, right before the Hall of Fame preseason game, they sent me a $25 free bet. I don't know if they do that before every football season, but they have all sorts of promotions just for setting up an account. Even if you don't want to make a deposit, I strongly suggest setting up an account. They have these free offers periodically. It's really cool, and it does help me out. All right, Bug Killer. It's a cool name. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. Do I trade CD Lamb for Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, and Nick Chubb? Wow. I first of all, CD Lamb is I would have him as my number one fantasy receiver. Your running backs are Mixon, Rashad, and Singletary. So you're losing. Yeah, all three of these guys have had injury issues. Nick Chubb, you have no idea what's going to happen. He is back at practice. I don't even know if he's going to play. Aaron Jones, when he plays, a very, very solid option. And Devontae Adams. I really think that you should start him, even though it's a tough matchup. That said, I mean, the amount of production that you could get from you have to understand CD Lamb at any point in time can win you a game. I'm leaning towards say I'm really close to telling you yes, because you're upgrading your running back room and you need some help. I mean, Singletary, even when he comes back, is probably going to be phased out. Same thing with Rashad White. Joe Mixon, is as long as he's healthy, and that's a question mark, is going to be productive. This is, of all the fancy questions I've been asked, I always try to give you both sides of the fence. I wish I could tell you a good answer here, because this is a tough one. I really hate to ask, but can I get more information on your receivers? Can you put your whole roster? Because I'm leaning towards yes. Here's the thing. If you have a losing record and you're just trying to make the playoffs, I would lean towards this move. If you have a winning record right now and you're just thinking, hey, I can ease into the playoffs and roll the dice, I would lean against it. And the reason why is that you're making a big risk. I mean, you're trading away probably my favorite number one fantasy football receiver. I mean, this is a guy who's going to get targets. Dak Prescott, whether you like him or don't like him, regular season puts up some big numbers. You're in a pass-heavy offense. Jerry world, you don't have to worry about weather. You have some good defenses, but they're all the secondaries in the NFC East have big question marks. I mean, so you have favorable matchups. I mean, Kyler Murray, you're 3-3. Cooper, JSN, Kincaid, Jakush, Shakir, the rest are bums. I'm currently 3-3. All right. Amari Cooper's interesting. Now he's with Buffalo. You don't know. JSN up and down. Dalton Kincaid, I like. Juju up, but you don't know. God, I'm assuming you mean Amari Cooper, but is I'm assuming you mean Amari Cooper, not Cooper Kupp. Yeah, you're 3-3, and I get it. I would make the move. I can't believe I'm saying this, to be honest with you, because I would CD whoever's going to get CD Lamb is, getting a guy that could win your fantasy league. But yeah, I just noticed that 3 Bills receivers. Yeah. Um, but I the reason why I would do this is that you're getting almost nothing. And by the way, at the beginning of the year, I would have told you these are 3 really good running backs, but you need some help. Singletary's going to get phased out. Rashad White's going to get phased out. Um, by the way, keep an eye on Nick Chubb. It's risky this week, but going forward, he may be your running back number one. I mean, this trade could be really, really, really good. Yeah, and that's the reason why I like it, because here's a deal. You could luck out, and you could luck out. And what I'm looking at, you're at Mixon, Jones, and Chubb as a flex, and I would have Chubb as on this roster. I would have Chubb as a flex if he plays. Keep an eye. He may not have a good game, his first game back, but keep an eye out on him. All right, then you have some tough decisions to make. Kincaid is a guy I think with Amari Cooper may open up the offense a little bit. Um, Cooper. I mean, Tennessee has a good defense. I mean, they really do. But I would probably go with Cooper. I I seriously I would go with Cooper. I mean, if you want to go with Shakira, you could, but I mean, you're going with Cooper. You're going. Obviously going with Kincaid. I might even go with Juju. And then you're going with 3 running backs. I'm assuming 2 receivers, two running backs, 1 flex. Yeah, I would make this trade, and here's the deal. I agree. I agree. I mean, Kyler Murray's probably frustrating you. Kincaid's probably frustrating you. Um, I can't believe I'm advocating getting rid of CD Lamb, but there's a very good chance that you're going to get 2 stud running backs. By the way, you may start all 3 of these guys. I was sitting here talking about Amari Cooper, but I might make this trade. I might start all 3 of these guys with your roster the way it is. Yeah, I mean, I would do it. It's I mean, well, I mean, who are you going to play? I mean, there's a good chance Rashad White is not going to play. Singletary may not play. And how the hell did I get? Okay, I'm sorry. I tried to hit the. I'm looking at. I mean, even if Singletary does play, um, I mean, the one thing about the Eagles is that they're going to stuff the run. You got Aaron Jones fresh off of a bye. I mean, he's listed as questionable, but he's on the practice field. I think he plays. Um, the Nick Chubb situation you really want to monitor, but you might just absolutely hit a home run here. I mean, this could be something. Um, this could be something you make your move, and then come playoff time, you could be in really good shape. Keep an eye out on Nick Chubb, but if he plays, start him. Let me know. Stay in touch with me, man. Stay in touch with me, and I want you to know, if you do pull the trigger on this trade, like you're going to have some really good games out of CD Lamb. You're going to look at, you have a little bit of buyer's remorse, but there's a chance that you get 3 starters, and you need some help on this team, because you're right. You have no chance of winning currently. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you could luck out and find a magic combination, where maybe you get the week where JSN's hot, and then you figure out Juju's hot. Like Juju had a good game last week. Was that JSN had a good week a couple weeks ago? Maybe Kyler Murray all of a sudden turns on the magic, lives up to this potential. So we'll find out. Let me know what you do. Good. And by the way, good luck. Good luck, man. I mean, listen, even if you don't take my advice, I want you to win your fantasy football league. I'm dedicating myself. By the way, Bug Killer, stay in touch with me here. Also, my social media links are below. You can add me on social media. You can DM me if you need any more help. But make the move. Let me know what you end up doing, and hopefully I hear from you Monday. Because if I'm correct, if you make this move, you don't have anybody. You wouldn't have anybody playing on Monday, would you? I'm trying to remember. I should know this off the top of my head. Yeah, you wouldn't have anybody playing on Monday. So let me know Monday. I hope to see you again Monday, and you're telling me that you won. Hopefully Javante Adams, you start him and he gets you a lot of points that put you over the top. You may have to play against somebody Monday. We'll find out. Pikel. Hopefully I'm getting the name right. Did I get fleeced? I traded away Ingram for Tank Bigsby right before the Week 6 game. But I already had Bowers and Kraft at tight end, so I only had Walker Cooks and Bucky Irving at running back. I don't think you did. The reason why is you got some value out of Bigsby. ETN's just been banged up all year. I love Evan Ingram, but I mean, you got 2 really good tight ends. And then I'm looking at your running backs here. I mean, Kenneth Walker's really, really good. Bucky Irving's a guy going up and up. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I'm a little off today. I'm drawing a blank. When you say Cooks, I'm thinking Braden Cooks, receiver. Am I missing something? But Bigsby will get you some points. I mean, look, Ingram's going to be productive, but if you had Ingram, what was it? It was pregame warm-ups. He got hurt. Oh, James Cook. Okay, I'm sorry. God, I'm sorry. God, I'm off today. A little off today. By the way, I mean, I was going to say you got some good running backs, but you had to start Bigsby because Cooks is out. You probably got some points there. Kenneth Walker's. You got some good players, man. I mean, this is a solid team. Did you get fleeced? No. No, but I mean, this happens. Listen, when you make a trade in fantasy football, sometimes the guy you trade who was not productive has a game like Evan Ingram had. And Evan Ingram is capable of doing that, but so is Bowers and so is Kraft. Um, Bigsby's solid. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, when I'm looking at your running backs with Kenneth Walker, Cooks, and Irving, I mean, to me, Bigsby would be number 4, where Bowers and Kraft have been more productive. Ingram may be the most productive tight end out of Ingram, Bowers, and Kraft going forward. But no, I don't think you did. You get fleeced? No. Um, I'd be very curious with your running backs and your tight ends. I'm assuming you're doing pretty good. Um, what I do like is that, look, in fantasy football, there's nothing more valuable than a 3-down back. All right. There's nothing more, especially in the PPR league. I'm assuming you're in a PPR league. There's nothing more valuable than a 3-down back. And you got 4 good ones, to be honest with you. And you got 4 guys. With Bucky Irving, I know that I've already forgot his name. The undrafted free agent out of Syracuse. I know he had this magical game, but Bucky Irving's going to be more involved in that offense. Do it. The best part is about Bucky Irving is that you have some value here. You can make some moves here with these 4 running backs. You can make a trade if you need to. But you got 2 really good tight ends that you can play. No, I'm just judging from this roster. You're in good shape. Yeah, I mean you could have maybe, but by the way, I understand completely. You probably started Ingram, had no idea he got hurt in pregame warmups, and he got you nothing. And you're like, I just want to get rid of this guy. I can get rid of nothing for something. Then he blows up right after you trade him. I understand your frustration. You're like, hey, let me look at this guy with fantastic hair. Let me ask what he thinks. No, you didn't get fleeced. It's just one of those things that didn't work out perfectly. Now, with ETN being banged up, you may have a stud in Bigsby. I mean, but listen, Kenneth Walker, James Cook, Bucky Irvin, Bigsby, you got 4 good running backs, 2 really good tight ends. I'm curious how you're doing in fantasy football. Um, you have some moves that you can make. I have no idea what the rest of your roster is. If you want to share it, I would love to see it. Stay in touch with me and let me know how you do. As far as who you're going to start this week, I'm also kind of curious because you have. I'm assuming you're going to. Um, I mean, keep an eye on Cooks. I do think he'll play against Tennessee. Tough matchup, but it'd be interesting. Um, I mean, Kenneth Walker. I would play him, even though I like Atlanta's defense quite a bit. Um, and then you have an interesting Monday night game with Bucky Irving. I would play Bucky Irving on Monday night, just FYI. But I mean that's kind of a fun question. Do you want to go Bucky Irving or you want to go Tank Bigsby? Keep an eye out on the injury report. Of course, if Cooks doesn't play, Kenneth Walker is always questionable, but when he does play, he's always really good. Let me know what you're going to do. Do I think he got fleeced? No. No, I don't think he got fleeced at all. I think that I 100% understand why you did it. And then you're frustrated because a guy that you probably started that week that he got injured in pre. I mean, who the hell gets injured in pregame warmups? I mean, I seriously, I've been obsessed with football for over 40 years. There's only been a handful of times I've seen a player get injured in pregame warmups. It's not the only time it's ever happened. There's only a handful of times I've ever seen a player get injured in pregame warmups and like not play. There's only been a handful of times. It has happened though. But yeah. Andre, what's up, brother? Josh Allen to the moon. I by the way, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't know that. You said Cooks, and I should know. I'm my bad. I'm bad. Bear with me. I have energy drink number 2. the video below, I stayed up to about 4 or 5. I went to bed around 5, but I finished the video up around 4 in the morning. I'm a little worn out today. No excuse to not know who the hell James Cook is, but yeah. Houdini! Glad you made it, brother. My glorious friend, I am 3-3 now. Yes. All right. I need to make some trades, preferably get rid of Mooney and Cook because now Ray Davis is going to take some touches. All right. I'm not on board with getting rid of Cook. I think Ray Davis is going to take some touches, but I think Cook's going to be the number one guy. I would strongly suggest you hold on to Cook. As far as Mooney, he's a guy I like, but I know he didn't have a great week, but you got some players though that I like in Mooney and Cook. Here's the problem. These are two guys that if you sell, you're selling low. I'm always a fan of selling high. All right. I'm always a fan of selling high. You did. I'm hoping you did pick up Ray Davis. And by the way, I love Ray Davis. I mean, this is a great story. If you're not aware, I want to make sure I answer all the questions, and I'm really bad about ranting. So I love the story. There's very few stories better than Ray Davis. But one thing about Mooney and Cook is keep in mind, if you do want to get rid of these guys, I get it. But I prefer you selling high, not selling low. So let's take a look here. I see another question here. I'm gonna answer this one. Well, here's the problem, Denver Gator. Nothing happened today in the NFL, so like there's nothing to talk about. So that's the problem. Denver Gator. Denver Gators in the house. Oh God, I love when Denver Gators here. Bigger, better move, Cooper or Adams? Which teams are going to have a fire sale? All right. You know what? I said I was going to answer this question, and I lied about it. So, by the way, Hassan Reddick is going to be moved very soon. I really think it's a matter of time. He's a pass rusher. He's a very good pass rusher. It was kind of a weird situation. The Jets said they weren't going to trade him. Now they're open to trading him. You remember he fired his agent, or his agent fired him. So now he's signed with Drew Rosenhaus. For my money, he's the best agent in sports. If I was an elite athlete, Mahomes, LeBron. I don't follow basketball, so I'm assuming it's LeBron. I have no idea who the best baseball player in the world, hockey player. I have no clue. I would sign Drew Rosenhaus. I mean, yeah, he's been the best for the last 20, 30 years. Anyway, I think Hassan Reddick will be moved. That's a trade I think that'll happen next. There is going to be a surprise trade. Last year, I didn't see Montez Sweat and Chase Young both being gone, but of course, Washington had a fire sale. It looks like it's panning out now. A couple of years ago, Roquan Smith. Now, that was a weird situation because Roquan really wanted to stay in Chicago. Chicago just wanted to get rid of him for whatever reason. They ended up signing Tremaine Edmonds, and I think Roquan Smith's better than Edmonds, but Edmonds is doing a fantastic job in Chicago. As far as surprise trades, I'm looking at teams with losing records, and I'm looking at Cincinnati moving either Hendrickson or Hubbard. That to me just makes sense. Miles Murphy's going to come in and be a guy. I see T. Higgins being moved. That would not surprise me at all. Could Jacksonville make a move? I'll be honest with you. I think Jacksonville could make a move. The Tennessee Titans could make a move. I mean, these are bad teams that I could see needing to acquire draft capital. Um, I'd be hard pressed to see a team like the Raiders make a move, but you know, to be honest with you, I have no idea what the Raiders are going to do. Um, but absolutely, there will be a surprise trade. Absolutely, Hassan Reddick, I think, will be traded soon, and I do think there will be at least one surprise trade. I think there'll be multiple surprise trades. To be honest with you. I'm just not really sure like which team is going to make it. I could see a team possibly try to pick somebody up. Hassan Reddick has a lot of value for a lot of teams. And then after Hassan Reddick, I think there will be a surprise. I could only speculate. I think the Bengals could be a team to make a move. Um, you never know. They may beat Cleveland and say, hey, you know what? Even though we're 3-4, we can make a run, and I think they could. Could the Browns have a big fire sale? You never know. Could the Steelers start Russell Wilson and move on from Justin Fields? Let me throw out something really crazy. Justin Fields to the Raiders reunites with his old offensive coordinator from the Bears from last year. I've seen weirder things. But yeah. All right. Bigger, better move. Cooper, Adams, which teams are going to fire? Say, okay. I want to break down the Amari Cooper trade first because I really think the Browns want this trade, and you're gonna probably laugh because I'm a huge Amari Cooper fan. Remember, they moved the contract around so that made him easier to trade. They got him from Dallas. It was a condition. It was like a 5-6 move. They got a 5th-round pick and Amari Cooper. They sent back a 6 because Dallas had to move him for cap reasons, and CeeDee Lamb exploded. So they got him for almost nothing. Then they got Jerry Jeudy, who's got all the talent in the world, never been able to make it happen. All of a sudden, gets to the NFL, drops everything. I don't understand the logic. You explain it to me, Denver Gator, but you really didn't need to give up a 3rd. And by the way, it's a 3rd and then a 6. It's a 3rd and then you throw back a 6 and then you get a 7th next year. This trade compensation may sound weird to you, but basically what it is that you want to get a player, even if it's late round pick. You never know what these late round picks are going to be. So you always want to get a pick. You always want to get a guy. And the one thing that the Browns did, and that's the reason. By the way, the Bills have had success in later rounds in the draft. That's why that's why they wanted that 6th-round pick. So it's player for player. So you get Cooper, you get a 6th, and then the Browns get a 3rd in the 2025, 7th in 2026. It's going to be a low 3rd-round pick. At least that's what they're estimating. That's what they're thinking about. But they didn't need to. Buffalo did not need to give up a 3rd. This is going to be a good move for Cleveland if they can figure out what to do. Because when I look at this defense, they're loaded and they've done a really good job. I mean, what's the hole that you have in Cleveland right now? Well, you got to fix the offensive line. Those players are coming back healthy. Your draft pick last year, Michael Hall, I actually liked him. Remember, he's suspended. I I don't remember if he's on the exempt list or if he's just 4-game suspension, but a guy that could add some productivity in the middle of that defensive line. Let's say you want to make a move for a quarterback. You have some draft capital now. It's inexpensive for Buffalo. You have an aging receiver. This also means that you weren't that high on Shakir. And here's another thing is that I do like that you flip-flopped and you went out of round 1. There was a lot of hype about Keon Coleman. If you're not aware, I followed some Bills Mafia people, and they were adamant that Keon Coleman was going to be the guy. I was like, yeah, he looks good in shorts. He's supposed to look good in shorts. He's not the guy. Now, I do like the Buffalo, because if you're not aware what Buffalo did in the draft is they traded with Kansas City. Why they want to trade with Kansas City, I have no clue. By the way, the Bills are the team that traded with Kansas City so Kansas City could draft. No, I don't know. I can't think of the guy's name. Where's 15? It's like in every single commercial ever. Why you want to trade with Kansas City? I have no clue, but Buffalo did. So they traded down. Then they flip-flopped with Carolina. They said that they rated Keon Coleman higher than Xavier Legette. I did not see that at all. I thought there was a massive difference between Legette and Coleman. By the way, Xavier Legette, I thought would be a much better fit in Buffalo. I really did. I really did. I'm not really sure why they went with Keon Coleman, but I mean, maybe it'll pan out. I don't know. Early on, Carolina looked smart for, flip-flopping and getting Legette, but you got rid of Diggs. You didn't want him. So now you have to get Cooper. It's a Band-Aid for this year, so you can try to beat the Chiefs again. So I mean, we'll see if it pans out. But I mean, I'm a huge Amari Cooper fan. I predicted he would be in Dallas. I'm kind of surprised he went to Buffalo, to be honest with you. But this means moves with Shakir and Keon Coleman. Are they unhappy with Dalton Kincaid, or do they think they need some help? All right. Devontae Adams. By the way, I think they make this move win or lose on Monday night. I think it had nothing to do with Monday night. But if they would have won on Monday night, debatable if they deserve to win. I mean, that's fair. But if they won on Monday night and they added Adams, the Jets are a scary team. I'm going to level with you, man. The bigger, better move, I think it's Adams. The defense, I'm disappointed that they're not better against the run, but I like the move. 2025, the Jets are going to be the most entertaining team in the offseason, because what do you do with Rodgers? What do you do with Adams? Who wants to be the head coach there? The defense is still world class. And what teams are going to have a fire sale? If Cleveland beats the Bengals, I think the Bengals have a sale. I think the Bengals could move either Higgins or Hubbard or Hendrickson. I really believe that. Not only do they have Miles Murphy, a guy that's going to be really, really good, this draft is loaded with edge rushers. If you're going to, you're probably not signing Hendrickson. You're probably not signing T. Higgins. Probably. I'm kind of looking at the Bengals, and now if they lose to Cleveland, I 100% think they'll have a fire sale. But full disclosure, I don't. By the way, Denver Gator, watch the video, please watch my picks video. But I do think Cincinnati will win. And then I think that they even with a win, it wouldn't surprise me if they make a move. Do the Raiders move somebody else? I doubt it, but you never know. Carolina doesn't really have anybody to sell, but I mean, to be honest with you, if you wanted a quarterback like the Raiders, do you want to roll the dice in the draft again, or do you just take a look at Bryce Young? Do you take a look at Justin Fields? We're gonna find out. I think we still got another week. I still think we got another week. So, all right. Sorry, I went on a long rant. I'm I'm sorry, man. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, man. Oh God, I went on a rant. I'm so sorry. I have London, Mooney, Gibbs, Cook, McBride, Laporta, Hunt, Brian Robinson. I don't know what to pair, what to trade. I prefer something with Mooney like Cooker now, or even Gibbs. Wow. Okay. I like the idea of moving Gibbs. You're selling high. Jeez, that's a good one, man. Yeah, you need to keep that. All right. You keep McBride. I would recommend you keep Cook. I would seriously see. I'd prefer something with Mooney like Cook now, or even Gibbs. I like the idea of Gibbs. You'd have to make a what would what here's what I would do. I would just reach out. What are you trying to add? I have a lot of questions. I went on a long rant, so I apologize. What do you want to add? I like the idea of getting rid of Gibbs. So they can't. And then by the way, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Raiders need a fire sale. Jackson, are the Titans in rebuild or sellers? The Lions should grab Crosby. No way they're getting rid of Crosby, but I think Hassan Reddick would make a lot of sense. Team right now, nice. Walker, Cook, Irvin, Bigsby, wide receivers, Jettas, Marvin Harrison. I'm assuming, is that Justin Jefferson, or I misread that? Yeah, the 49ers are going to have some problems. You were the one that had to trade. No, you're in good shape, man. You're in really good shape. You got two good quarterbacks. You can, yeah, you're in good shape. You're in good shape. You're in really good shape. I hope you stay in touch with me. I think you're in really good shape. I think you're in a good chance. You're 4-2. I think you have a really good chance in winning your league. You have some tough decisions to make because which one do you want to start, Dak or Darnold? That's a tough one. But I'm assuming Jay Jettas. I'm assuming it's Justin Jefferson. But I mean, if that's the case, if Cooper Kupp comes back, there's a chance you're in really, really good shape. I'd like to see you upgrade your receivers. I'm assuming Justin Jefferson, Marvin Harrison Jr. If Kupp comes back healthy, you're set. Demario Douglas. Oh, nice job. Nice job. Come to Vegas, hang out. AK, what's up, brother? Jay Jettas. Is that the nickname for Justin Jefferson now? Kamara, Chase Brown, nice. Dobbins, Hunt, Chubb. Wow. What a loaded running back room. Hopefully you started Godwin. Pittman, as long as Anthony Richardson is there. Oh God. God, what a great question. With your team, you can give up a lot. I'll be honest with you, man. I might hold off and not make a move because I'm looking at this lineup and you have some guys like Neighbors in London that have unlimited potential. Pittman's a guy that as soon as Flacco takes over, they'll figure it out. Deontay Johnson up, Juju Smith-Schuster could be up. You have some guys on your bench that could start for some teams. I love your running back room. You're in a 10-person league. That makes sense. Wow. God, I'll be honest with you, man. I understand why you could make a big move, but I mean, you're just so deep right now. You could sell. Okay, so my philosophy is you want to sell high. All right. You could make a move like Chase Brown and Godwin. I mean, look here. If you really want Justin Jefferson, that's what I'm assuming you mean. If that's the guy that you want, I would reach out and see what you can do. I would throw out something like trying to sell high. Chase Brown and Godwin would be kind of my thought process. So, but I'm going to level with you. The way your team's set up, I might just stand pat and just not make any moves. And I mean, that's kind of my thought process. I mean, with this team, you got to be in good shape. If I remember correctly, you're 4-2, 5-1, something like that. Dude, I'm so sorry, man. You're right. Las Vegas needs to like Marvin Lewis take over the rest of the year. AP is not the answer. Vegas, yeah. So I thought they made a big mistake in hiring Luke Getsy. Personally, I didn't really like the move. You get a guy who was fired by Chicago, then you get two quarterbacks that don't fit the scheme that he ran. It didn't really make a lot of sense. It really didn't make a lot of sense. I like the fact that you hired Antonio Pierce, but he's not getting it done. I think you let Antonio Pierce coach for the rest of the year, and then you try to figure out what to do. But yeah, you have to do something at the quarterback position. And Aiden O'Connell, I didn't like the move. I think if you're gonna go with Minshew, you should have stuck with him. That's my opinion. We'll have to see. Really? All right. I didn't know that. So here's the deal. I think that they would have, but with the injury issues he's having, that might be a problem. If I was Dallas when the offseason hits, I would strongly consider it. Keep in mind that's part of the reason why you drafted Marshawn Nealon with the second round pick. This is a guy who a lot of people thought could have been like a late first rounder, but yeah. So I do think he's on the trading block. I have no idea how you pay him what he wants, and he's going to want a lot. And I think he has. I think there's some value there. I normally wouldn't condone this, but he was wildly productive in Dan Quinn's system. I mean, they're playing some good defense there in Washington. I don't know if you'd want to get players, but that would be something to consider. Yeah, I mean, I know in division trades are I mean, Philly traded a receiver. They got Washington's former first round pick. So I mean, why not? I would at least call Washington and see what's up. But another team, if they can't sign Judon long term, would be Atlanta. Getting an A+ pass rusher in Atlanta would be a lot of fun. Would be a lot of fun. And by the way, if I'm Atlanta, that's like my only need, and that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't understand the whole. I really don't understand why you want to rock the boat now. I would stick with Fields. I've been saying that all along, but um, they're saying that hey, Wilson may start, and it's something I'm paying attention to. So yeah, yeah, Jerry Judy's the number one. Yeah, your boy. Cam the Ham, what's up, brother? Already starting Henry, Mixon, Diggs, and London. Who should I place my flex between these guys? Cooper, Adams, Jordan Mason, or Bucky Irving? Wow, you got some really good options here. God, you got some really, really good options. By the way, smart. You this is a win because you got both Cooper and Adams. So what a great job. Um, Okay, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm going to tell you they've been doing a good job stuffing the run. So normally I would lean towards the running back options. Um, but I would go against Mason. I like the idea of an explosive third down back. I also like the idea that Tampa is playing on Monday night. I like the idea that they're playing on Monday night. I could make a very, very, very strong case for Cooper and Adams. I'm going to give you an unpopular answer. I would go with Bucky Irving. You play on Monday night, personal preference. I love guys that play on Monday night. I know Rashad White may come back. He'll eat some touches. Listen, the Baltimore defense is not the same dominant defense. The offense just looks so much better with Bucky Irving. You have a lot of unknown about Cooper and Adams, but you do know Bucky Irving's going to get 10 to 15 touches at home on Monday night. I mean, look, I'm gonna level with you. You're going to get points. I mean, look at this lineup. By the way, great job, great job. You're going against a tough Steelers defense if you want to go Adams. All right. You're going against a tough Titans defense if you want to go Cooper. Traditionally, Baltimore's been a great defense. They're not a great defense. They're not, and you're at home. I don't know how much you're into point spreads, not into point spreads, but let me throw out some numbers here. And I'm sorry I didn't get to this sooner. I'm ranting, but over under for Pittsburgh and the Jets is 38.5. The over under for Buffalo and Tennessee is 41.5. For Chiefs and 49ers, it's 46.5, which by the way, that's high, but that's here or there. Baltimore, Tampa Bay is 47.5. So that's what Vegas odd makers are expecting to be the highest scoring game out of those four. Look, Mason has got the AC joint. I expect him to play, but it's a question mark. By the way, I don't know if you follow me on social media. I was reposting something that Chiefs have just shut down like every running back in the NFL. The best running back performance against Chiefs this year was Derrick Henry, is 53 yards and a touchdown. I would go with Bucky Irving. Unpopular opinion. Tyler Sperry. That's awesome, man. I don't recognize it. So hopefully you hit subscribe, even though I disagree with you. Out of pressure, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And what are the Jets? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do now? Like seriously, if you're the Jets, I can't wait to find out what the Jets are gonna do after the year's over. I mean, who wants to go there? Um, Albrecht, is he really have a chance to be the head coach? Yeah. No, no. Andre, I don't know if you saw the same posts on social media all summer about the Bills raving about Keon Coleman. And it was funny. Here's this Bills fan. This is a wide receiver #1. This guy's going to be a Pro Bowler, and it's showing him running routes in shorts. And I don't pick fights with people on the internet. It's a waste of time. But um, I was like getting ready to send him a message like it's shorts. I mean, he's wearing shorts. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, but yeah. This Coleman's a guy who I thought was not a good fit, and I did not have that high of a grade on the dude. I really didn't. Um, but that we'll find out. I think getting a veteran receiver like Amari Cooper will help him. I do think it'll help him. It's funny. I like the offense that he's in, but if he does figure everything out, the sky's the limit for the kid. I agree. I agree. You double team Adams and Adams and Rogers can't run. Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because like the only receiver he seems to want to throw to is Wilson. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bills cut MVS. No way he ends up on the. Did they cut MVS? I didn't know that. I did not know they cut MVS. I actually, if they cut MVS, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back to Kansas City. Okay, I should have. It's a nickname. I should have known that. Allen, but a tight end put up numbers last night. Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot you had that like week 12 where you have like everybody on. And if by the way, are you in a league where week 12 is a playoff week? So that's another thing. Yeah, I mean, dude, thank you so much. By the way, yeah, wait for your trophy. Please stay in touch with me and in like week 14 or 15, whenever you win your league, please share it. I like to get an upgrade at running receiver because of my running back depth. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it. And I apologize because I went on an unnecessary rant. So let me find out what the trade was. Let me go back up here. Yeah, let's get you. Okay, so I don't know what the whole roster is, and I apologize. I'm Vidal, Braylon, and Bucky. I'm not a fan of Vidal. I know he finally started getting some touches and everything. I really thought Hassan Haskins would really eat up those, but I really I understand you wanting to get an upgrade at wide receiver. I'm curious what kind of trade you can make. But yeah, we're on the same page. I want to get your improvement at receiver because you're in a good position to strike. That's what I like. No, I didn't. I mean, he didn't get any separation. The reason why he was so productive is he won a lot of jump balls. Do you remember a guy by the name of N'Keal Harry? Didn't pan out in the NFL, but he was a lot of fun to watch at Arizona State. I thought N'Keal Harry was more athletic and just a better player, and I thought he was going to be awesome, but he couldn't get any separation. He ran, I think it was like a 4.55 at the combine. Coleman ran a 4.62 and looked significantly slower. I was not a fan. I personally thought, like, if I thought he was kind of in this draft. Remember, this draft had so many really good receivers. I thought this guy, like at the bottom of the second round, would have been a good fit. Maybe a team like Kansas City that can get a little creative offensively. Keep in mind, this is before the Eagles drafted Jahan Dotson. I thought maybe the Eagles, because he would be like option number 3, not option number 1. But no, I agree completely. And well, there could be room for improvement. BB Buster, what's up, brother? Man, I went on a rant here, so I apologize. Hopefully I can get to everybody's comments here. Oh, boy. All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I expect this play to do really well. Jacoby Myers is on the block. Nice. You can drop Tolbert. Hold on to Mostert. I really thought the Cowboys would end up with Cooper. Hold on to Mostert. I didn't know you have him, because by the way, Mostert is a guy I'm low key thinking could have a monster game. The Colts have a terrible run defense. The Dolphins are fresh off of a bye. They need a win. I think they could load up. Mostert could like have 100 plus yards and a couple touchdowns. Injury issues are there, but hold on to Mostert, whatever you do, at least this week. This could be a big week for Mostert. Colts run defense is terrible. For some reason, they want to go with Anthony Richardson. The Dolphins are fresh off of a bye. Hold on to Mostert. This could be like a big guy going forward. Hold on to Mostert, whatever you do. Jacoby Myers is solid though. I like. Please hold on to Mostert. I agree with you, Perry. I think there could be a situation. Keep in mind, the injury issue really hurts him. Like, this is a guy, like, if he was wildly productive, no injury issue, you might be able to get like something monstrous for him. And I'm looking at a team like Atlanta that's like on the cusp of being a Super Bowl caliber team that needs a pass rusher besides Judon. And I think Judon's a rental, which is a huge mistake. If I was Atlanta, I wouldn't have made that trade. I would have drafted a pass rusher, but that's neither here nor there. Since you have your quarterback of the future and you have your quarterback now, trade the draft pick and get Micah Parsons. You had Micah Parsons became an Atlanta Falcon. I mean, they're definitely one of the 4 best teams in the NFC. Who's better, Tampa Bay or Atlanta? I still think it's Tampa, believe it or not. I know Atlanta beat them. I still think Tampa is a better team. You add Micah Parsons to the Falcons, that flips. Listen, I'm going to take a very fast commercial break. I'm going to answer every single question. I'm sorry about the rants. I'm going to answer every single question. Give me a minute, and I'll be back for hour 3 of Afternoon Delight, so stay tuned. As Afternoon Delight is on a commercial break, we want to remind you that BetUS is a proud affiliate of Dan Talks Football. I made my first $100 deposit, and it was fast and easy, but check it out for yourself. The video's in the description below. Check out BetUS and start winning today. The award-winning NFL Week 7 Picks video is out. Make sure you watch it and drop a comment on how you think your team will do this week, or pick all 15 games. Your comments help. Check it out. The link is in the description below. right. Hour 2 is in the books. Hour 3 of Afternoon Delight. I will answer every single question. Every single one. I'm going to try to keep the rants to a minimum. Bucky's dropping. I seriously think he may have a good game. I really think he could have a good game. Do you think Kansas City will make it? No, I do not. I think Kansas City's more than happy to stand pat. Hollywood Brown is going to come back late in the season. I don't expect Rashid Rice to. Juju Smith-Schuster is already. One thing about Kansas City is that their offensive scheme is very, very complex. I think that they're happy because, I mean, look, they're 5-0. Late in the season, they could add Hollywood Brown. They already added Kareem Hunt. Remember, they get CEH coming back. Isaiah Pacheco's going to come back. I would be really surprised. I would be really surprised. The only thing I could think of is maybe they want to add a corner, and I'm not sure which free agent corners out there. I'm high on J.C. Horn, but I would be floored if Carolina wanted to move on from another young defensive player. So I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was out. I'm sorry. Old bench, Bucky, Braylon, Hunt, Laporta, Mozart, Tolbert, Vidal. Looks like I'm gonna force to drop Vidal or Tolbert. Listen, you have to keep Mozart at least this week. All right, look, you're going against this terrible run defense with the Colts. All right. By the way, Mozart's not even on the injury report, but Devin Archain is. Per ESPN, wore a red non-contact jersey in practice Monday. Listen, do me a favor, and if you get rid of him after this week, fine. Keep him at least this week, please. Try to find a way to play him. I would drop Vidal. I would drop Tolbert, and try to get a kicker. I'll be honest with you. I'm the Vidal. I'm not high on. Tolbert, I'm not high on. After you pick up Jacoby Myers, I'm not sure what kickers are available. But I'm going to let you know right now. I really just want you to hold on to Mozart. I can't emphasize this enough. Braylon Allen, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I'd start him. He might be a guy that you can move, but I get why you want to hold on to him. One of my draft crushes, but I'm looking at your running backs, and after this week, if Mozart doesn't do anything, you want to move him, great. This week, he could have 20 to 30 touches and a couple touchdowns. So, yeah. Denver Gator, you think Denver should move at the deadline? And by the way, the answer is Surtain to the Chiefs for like a 7th-round pick. Do you think the Pats should trade off a few veterans at the deadline? Actually, I don't. If I'm New England, remember, you're getting an extra 3rd-round pick. If I'm New England, I may want to add somebody and then just say, look, I would try to add somebody if I'm New England, believe it or not, and I want to add somebody now and then try to build for the future. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I'm looking at New England's roster. This is a young, talented team. I think it's on the up and up. There may be a player that you could add that you could build for the long term. I would be shocked, but I mean, the way Carolina's been conducting itself, a guy like J.C. Horn, do the Patriots need a corner? No, but if you added somebody like J.C. Horn, how loaded would your team be? Is there an offensive player the Patriots may want to consider? Possibly. But I mean, they do got some really good players on defense that they could move if they felt like they could just add some veterans through the draft. It's hard to say, but if I'm the Patriots, I would seriously consider buying for the future. If there's a player out there that's unhappy, or um, that maybe you can sell on the upside of Drake May. I know it sounds a little nuts, but I think that if I'm the Patriots, I'm actually buying, not selling. But yeah, you have to figure it out. Um, if I'm the Patriots, I know I'm not making the playoffs this year, but I mean, look, you're starting May now. There's a lot of youth on that team. I would build now through free agency, and then look, if you're picking high in the draft, you may have the option of trading down for an arm and a leg. I mean, if you're picking top 5 or top 10, like Keaton said, he's a Patriots fan. He was saying top 5. There may be a team wanting to get a quarterback like, no, Shadir Sanders, Cam Ward. You may be able to trade down, do like what the Bears did and get like a number 1 wide receiver plus draft picks, and then use the draft capital to get Caleb Williams. Of course, you're not going to use it for a quarterback if you're sold on Drake May, but you get my point. Sorry, so I went up too long of a rant. I need to answer all the questions. The Smitty. Would you trade Mike Evans for another wide receiver? I'm tired of alternating. oh man. um I'm always a fan of selling high. If you have Evans and Godwin, you may be better off selling Godwin and selling him high. But no, I mean, you got 2 receivers on the same team. You never know which one's going to be productive. And I mean, look, you're in a division with some tough defenses. I mean, it's in Atlanta. I know Baker Mayfield had a great game in Atlanta. I know it was a loss, but I mean, Falcons secondary is one of the best in football. Saints have a really good defense. I know you just put up 51 on them, and then you have Carolina. So, I'm never against making a trade. I just, the one thing I want to tell you is that I'm always a fan of selling high. I may want to keep Evans and sell Godwin if you can get a better trade. I mean, I want you to win your trade. I mean, that's first thing. But if you can trade Evans and get good value, I'm all for that. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it. It makes sense. You got one, you don't want the other. I get it. I 100% get it. Just get good value. So that's all I'm saying. Traded Marvin Harrison Jr. for Tony Pollard. What do you guys think? I have neighbors, London and Jefferson, who I'm not pitching. I love this trade. I think you win big time. Tony Pollard's a fantastic option in fantasy football this year. He's not really splitting the touches with Spears. They're using him in the passing game. I like what they're doing with him. To be honest, I have no confidence in Will Levis at all. So, I like it. I think you win this trade. I mean, I mean, if Neighbors gets over that concussion, he's been out producing Marvin Harrison Jr. So what happened is you traded a guy that you're not even using. Forget the big name. Ignore the name Marvin Harrison Jr. for a second, okay? You traded the guy that you're not even using for a running back number 1 if you are in a PPR league, which I'm assuming. No, you won this trade big time. Big time. I love it. Jets got rip out of their jet. Get you know um I went on some rants, so I apologize. Um, if you're just trying to avoid a week 12 and your playoffs are week 15, that's a really late playoff, by the way. All right, I want to make sure. Yeah, I'm not trying to make moves for week 12. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You might be in a situation where you just let some guys sit and lose week 12. Yeah. Jacobs and ETN for Mixon. Welcome, Noah. I'm glad to see you again, brother. Um, God, I would, I'm kind of thinking what Perry's thinking because um, the only thing you have to understand, ETN is banged up. You're selling extremely low. He'll have some more value once he gets back healthy. And by the way, I don't think he's going to play this week. The one thing I will say is that so a full disclosure, I like Houston's defense a lot more than I like Green Bay's defense, but Jacobs may have a better matchup this week. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of agreeing with Perry, so that's interesting. I think you're overpaying, but I would gamble ETN. It's kind of, I mean, the thing is with ETN is I always want you to sell high, and ETN doesn't have a lot of value. I will say this. I've always liked Josh Jacobs. I wasn't sure he would really fit on this team, but I mean even though 3.4 and 3.8 yards a carry, which is what he had the last couple of weeks, and he's not being used in the receiving game that much. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I mean, this is one of those things I could kind of argue both ways. I mean, the 102 and a touchdown last week. Also, also had another touchdown on the ground. I wouldn't blame you if you did it. I really wouldn't blame you if you did it. I really wouldn't. But I could see you having some buyer's remorse if ETN comes back in a few weeks. And Jacobs is solid. I mean, you're not breaking the bank with Jacobs. I was kind of worried about him in the first place. Plus, it doesn't look like you're using him in the receiving game at all. I can make an argue both ways for this, but even though I don't think ETN's going to play this week, I think Mixon will have more production than Jacobs. Of course, I think Houston's defense is better than Green Bay's, but you may be able to get something back in return. Let me ask you this: is there any way you can get anything else besides Mixon in return? Just throwing it out there, but I understand why you want to do this. Yeah, N'Keal Harry was the same way. The thing is, though, I thought N'Keal Harry had more athleticism. I mean, he returned punts. I thought he was faster. I agree, though. I mean, like there was a lot of similarities. I just remember so many Bills fans were thinking this is just a this is going to be like an all pro receiver, and I was like, I didn't see that. And I mean, they were like, look at this all pro talent, he's running routes in shorts, and I'm like, Chiefs fans were saying the same thing. I'm like, look, you got a 160-pound wide receiver. He better look good in damn shorts. I mean, that's the whole point. Corey, man, we were God, I wish you had joined earlier. We were talking a lot about Kyler Murray, and I'm behind on comments, but can you enlighten us on Kyler Murray and why Marvin Harrison Jr. is not being targeted more? My hands are really tied here because of Aubrey. Do I have to drop somebody? Do I drop Braylon? And do I try to acquire him back after weeks? Yeah, you 100% want to keep Mostert at least this week. If you drop Braylon Allen, somebody will pick him up. I mean, I know a lot of people that just kind of want to go through kickers. I mean, it's funny. I'm looking at. I'm assuming you're correct. I mean, I'm assuming you're correct that he's not going to play. But I'm looking at ESPN and I'm not seeing anything about him being injured. Assuming you're correct, but oh, I'm sorry, because he's on a bye this week. You want to keep I get it. I get it. I would hate for you to get rid of either one. I mean, listen, so you picked up Jacoby Myers. You have to drop one of these guys to pick up a kicker. Let me throw out something just really crazy. You're not starting Braylon Allen this week, so I understand why you want to drop him, pick up a kicker. What kickers can you pick up? I mean, and let me ask you something just really. Let me throw something just completely crazy out there. I don't like doing this, but I mean, look, you're playing. Is there any chance you just don't start a kicker this week? I know that sounds absolutely absurd. What kickers are out there? First off, I mean, if there's a kicker you're looking at, like, hey, this guy's going to give me 10 to 15 points this week, go for it. Could you get Aubrey back? No, probably not. Could you just go without a kicker for this week? I don't like telling people that. If you're gonna drop one for a kicker, drop Braylon Allen, because I mean he's the number 2 guy. Mozart has a chance to just explode this week, so I don't like that. But if you don't see a kicker that you're like, yeah, this guy's getting me 10 to 15 points, you may want to roll the dice. But I would 100% recommend getting rid of Allen over Mozart. Keep in mind, I mean, you're not getting Allen back. If Breece Hall goes down, you're going to hate the fact that you got rid of this dude. I'm giving you a lot. If you have to get rid of somebody, get rid of Allen. If there's not a kicker, you're not goo for Gaga over. I'll throw something crazy out at you. Just screw it and hey, look, I'll eat the bye. Maybe my team can win without a kicker this week. I really hate doing that, especially when you get. By the way, Braylon Allen against Pittsburgh, he's not going to do much. Is there a chance you can get him back? I doubt it, but it's possible. I mean, if your best option is going with a kicker that you're not confident in, and you really want to keep Aubrey, which I would not blame you one bit. I mean, a highly productive kicker in an offense. I mean, you're getting points every week, no matter what. I mean, I would too. Homeland, I haven't seen you for a while. Um, Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports comes in every Monday. He is a big Patriots fan, and I would love for you to be able to join on Monday. Hopefully everything is working out good. I just saw my computer did something kind of weird. Hopefully there wasn't an effect there. It's good seeing you again, brother. Join us every Monday, and Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports is a Patriots fan, and he's been very high on Drake May. I like that your team's young. I think that if you don't beat Jacksonville this week, you may want to consider. I like the Jared Mayo hot seat. I think really ramps up. But I think the fact that you have a really good defense, and you have some young players on offense. The offensive line's still bad, and you still don't have a wide receiver that I really like. Polk's a guy I do like, but I really think he's a 2. So yeah. Are you serious, Andre? So like I saw this and I've been refreshing. Is this a joke, or I don't see it on ESPN? That's massive. That's a massive blow if that's true. Cooper Slaughter, ESPN PPR League. So you got G. Smith, K. Williams. I'll read it as is here. T. Pollard. I like your running backs. Really, I like your running backs here. Pollard and Dobbins are nice. London, Amon-Ra, T. Higgins, Kincaid, Buffalo defense. McPherson, does start T. Higgins. Oh, Dobbins. This is not even, for me, it's not even a question. I mean, you're going against a tough Browns defense. Dobbins against the Cardinals could have a monster game. I would not even think. I would not even think about this. I would not even think about this. I'm going to make sure I answer every question. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail regarding this because I know Higgins could have a huge game. I would 100% Dobbins. He could have a monster game. The Bengals will play the Browns, and the Chargers play the Cardinals on Monday night. That's another thing, is that I love playing a guy on Monday Night Football. So I want to make sure that, oh God, I'm behind here. I'm going to answer every single question. I'm going to try not to rant. Should I drop Braylon Allen, Keon Coleman, and Trey Sermon for Caleb Williams, Ty Chandler, and Drake May? My current quarterback stack is on bye, hasn't been as good as Caleb Williams, and hasn't been good. Caleb Williams is also. I want to make sure I have this correct. I'm kind of rapid firing right now, so let me just do this. Braylon Allen, Keon Coleman, and Trey Sermon. You can get 2 quarterbacks and a running back. Yeah, absolutely make this move. This is an absolute no-brainer. And the reason why is that while I don't think Drake May's going to have a good game, because you'll have Dak, you can move Caleb Williams and get something for Williams. Or you can go really crazy, keep Caleb Williams and or Drake May and move Dak, but you have much better options. Yeah, make this move. Yeah. Yeah. Everything about the Cardinals. I know you are. I know you are. They need to upgrade. Yeah, let me know what you do, Coop. Let me know what you do and stay in touch. Let me know how you're doing. I'm sorry it took so long to get your question. I love being the underdogs at Minnesota. I think when you are underdogs, I think it's a game of the week. I mean, old school NFC North rivalry game. Um, First place in the NFC North, first place in the NFC is only on the line. Um, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. I mean, it's going to be a fun game, and the fact that you're underdogs after beating Dallas by 1,000 is massive. It's going to be a fun game. Good luck. I can't wait to watch it. So here's the deal, Homeland. I talked about this last week or I'm sorry, yesterday, and the guy I'm targeting, and he's a free agent, is you steal back from Kansas City, because one of the things Kansas City did is that I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name again. Joe Thuney. So when the Chiefs stole Joe Thuney and they gave him the most money any guards ever made, that really changed. That was kind of like the changing of the guard in the AFC. That's when the Patriots started really going back, and Kansas City really went forward, was getting Joe Thuney. When Kansas City lost that Super Bowl, they said, we're fixing this offensive line, and I'm really surprised the Patriots didn't look at what the Chiefs were doing and saying, hey, let's fix the offensive line. Trey Smith, the other guard, former 6th-round pick, been to a couple Pro Bowls. I thought he was going to hold out. He didn't. He's a free agent. Um, probably the strongest guy on the team, one of the strongest guys in the NFL. I know I'm ranting. I'm sorry. Has a health issue. Appears it's been fixed. That's why he lasted all the way to the 6th round, because he was going to be a 1st-round pick. Has a weird health issue. It looks like it's been resolved. If I'm the Patriots, I address my offensive line in free agency, right? Take a look at what the Kansas City Chiefs did, right? They took the best offensive lineman they could find in free agency, Trey Smith. There could be somebody better, but Trey Smith's a good one. Overpay him, protect your quarterback. Trey Smith is going to the Pro Bowl, and he's a much better run blocker than pass blocker. What does New England want to do versus Kansas City? Overpay Trey Smith. So you lock down a guard. You have to fix left tackle. Is there somebody that you can pay to be a left tackle? If not, then you can address that in the draft again. I know you drafted a guy in either 2nd or 3rd. I think it was the 3rd round, and I don't know why you drafted him, because he's a right tackle. You could have gone left tackle, but free agency draft. Take a look at what Kansas City did. They lost the Super Bowl. They did a massive overhaul in the offensive line. Why haven't the Patriots done that? Had to pivot off. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's the issue that I have. And wait a minute. Wait a minute. You have Mixon? I did. I'm sorry. Hold on here. Wait a minute. Can you do me a favor? Look, I'm behind on comments. I thought you were giving up. Yeah. I thought you were giving up Jacobs and Etienne for Mixon. But you have Mixon? And you're wanting Jacobs and ETN. But you have Bijan Robinson. And yeah, there is an injury issue. Okay. Lamar, nice. Bijan's nice. You have Mixon. Okay, I misread that. I'm sorry. You have Mixon, and because he has an injury issue, yeah. I by the way, I like all these options. I like all these options. Um, I mean, keep in mind 49ers defense is tough. I do like Bucky. I like Bucky, but I'm telling you right now, Mozart against a bad Colts defense with A Chain might not even playing. This could be gold. But I'll be honest. Out of these options, I like Bucky against the Ravens, even though traditionally they have a good defense. I don't think they do. Plus, I love playing guys on Monday night. Guy, I forgot. You're the guy who has the lineup from hell. I mean, so you're wanting it. I don't understand this. You're wanting to basically you're wanting to get rid of Mixon for Jacobs, and you're not even using. So, or did you already make this trade? If you already made this trade, like I don't blame you at all. The only problem is A Chain. You got some issues with A Chain since you got rid of 2 running backs. You got one you're not using. However, you're in a situation that London's going to be in your flex. I don't hate that. I would like to see you get another running back besides A Chain, somebody a little more durable, because you have some legitimate issues now with Mixon, but this team's loaded. So yeah, no. You see, Dicker is trending. Which team? I should know this, but I'm drawing a blank on which team he plays for. The Chargers. I mean, he's playing in the desert. I mean, he had a good week last week. I mean, he scored 11 points. I mean, the one thing about the one thing is that I mean, he's kicked field goals every single week. I mean, every single week he's gotten field goals. So I mean, he's going to score. That's a good option, man. That's a good option. You're going to get some points. Out of those guys, I would move Braylon Allen, and you're not going to miss him at all since you got these 3 guys. Yeah. Dicker would be a good one. He would be a good one, and then you just drop him, try to pick Allen up. I doubt you will, but you'll be fine. Yeah, I agree. They're all fresh off of a bye, so I think Hunt, CEH comes back, but I mean, CEH could be a guy I could see Kansas City, trading. Does he have any value? I have no idea, but yeah. Exactly. You have an injury risk, so okay, yeah. If you've already made the trade, I don't hate it. You just got an injury issue. Here's the problem: if you make this move, I would move on from A Chain and get somebody a little more stable. So you have some issues there, but I get why you want to make the move. I 100% get why you want to make the move. I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't, but if you do, I don't blame you. Just after you make this move, I would try to move on from A Chain. Let me throw out something completely nuts. Instead of ETN, what if you move A Chain? Achane, I know, has gotten more points in the past, but I think Etienne will get you more points in the future. I'm throwing out situations. If you do make the trade, I want to see you get something more than Achane, or you can hold him on the bench and hope that when he's healthy, you get him at the right week. So I can see Robert Kraft going both ways. If Kraft likes Mayo, give him another season, and Seabeef's tires of losing me. No, I'll be honest with you. I think if they beat Jacksonville and the offense looks better at all, then I think that you're okay with losing as long as you see some development. I think if the Patriots lose this week to Jacksonville and it's 6 straight losses, you might have to reconsider some things, especially since it looked like the blueprint was to start Brissett the whole year. And then you didn't give Brissett the tools he needed to succeed, so you throw in the rookie. And if he doesn't look good against a bad Jaguars defense, you got to figure out what to do. And it's sad to say, but it starts with the head coach. So Shane F., what's up, brother? I have Garrett Wilson, Kincaid, and Shakir. LOL. Trade Kincaid for Moss and okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I read. All right. So, if you've been, I don't recognize the name, so I don't know if you're new to my show or not. I will say this: if you're new, I like Zach Moss quite a bit. I would flip flop what the Bengals are doing, use Moss more than Brown, but it seems like the Bengals like Brown. McBride's going to be wildly more productive than Kincaid, even though I have a major man crush on both Kincaid and McBride. I love both of these guys coming out of college. If you're not using Moss at all, you could go this route. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of curious with Amari Cooper joining if Kincaid's value is going to go up. It should. Believe it or not, it should, because I think that you have a legitimate number one receiver in Buffalo. So your tight end position. And by the way, I'm a little disappointed. I thought they would get a little more creative with Kincaid, and they haven't. McBride's been wildly productive. If I'm the Cardinals, I have no idea why, because you've been locked in on Marvin Harrison Jr. for a while. I understand why you're not force feeding him the ball. Which quarterback do you want throwing? That's another thing to think about. Like I think Allen's significantly better than Kyler Murray. I don't want to give you I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again when I say I want to see more, but if you're not using Moss at all and you think McBride's an uptick, yes. I would really keep in mind, I don't think Moss is going to be productive against a good Browns defense. I'm just full disclosure. I would really like to wait 1 week and see if Kincaid's production goes up, if he has a good game. Keep in mind, Tennessee has a really good defense. Because what I would really hate is that Kincaid's production starts to go up and you sold low on both of these guys, because you got two guys that got some really massive upside. I like McBride quite a bit, but I'm almost thinking that you're taking a loss on this trade. Another thing about is that, I mean, the Chargers defense is pretty good. So can you hold off for 1 week? Because I'm almost guaranteeing you this trade's going to be available next week. And you might be able to get something else out of it. Probably not the answer you wanted to hear, but I with Kincaid, I really want to see what Amari Cooper with that offense, if that helps him or not. Because if it doesn't, you can make this trade next week. McBride, he's not going to do much against the Chargers. I really don't. He's not going to have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. All right. There's a chance Kincaid has a touchdown because Amari Cooper draws some attention away from him. You may be able to get Kincaid from McBride straight up. Do I think McBride will be better for the rest of the year? I do, maybe. But can you wait and see what Kincaid looks like in Buffalo before you make the trade? That would be my advice. If you do pull the trigger, I wouldn't hate you. Let me know what you decide to do. But I mean, I get it because Shakir disappointing, and Garrett Wilson, by the way, his production may actually go up. I know that sounds a little crazy. Tough matchup against Pittsburgh, but going forward, his production may go up. Mayo is a jet. Yeah, it could be, but yeah, I appreciate you. Hopefully it'll work out. I hope it works out, and you're in a situation where you're selling high. You may be able to get something else in return for Moss. You may be able to get another running back or receiver or something. Also, if Kincaid's value goes up, you may just I might keep him. It's just my starters were Bajan and Jacobs. Etienne or Ajane probably won't start, so I went out and got Mixon. I might have lost, but Etienne's lost me a week, and Jacobs is not getting the end zone like I want. So Noah, you made the trade. I don't blame you for doing it. I really don't. If Mixon stays healthy, by the way, the rest of your team is just awesome. So I don't blame you. Just stay in touch with me. Let me know how you do going forward. Because I mean, you have the team from hell, and if Mixon stays healthy, you're in really good shape. And you're right, Jacob said the one thing I really question if Jacobs really fits that offense, because he's really a tackle to tackle type of guy, and they don't have a tackle to tackle offense in Green Bay. They really, to tell you the truth, you'll never hear them say this, but I think they really miss Aaron Jones. I think they really miss Aaron Jones. It wouldn't surprise me if if Minnesota, after the season, for whatever reason, they don't want to keep Aaron Jones. It wouldn't surprise me if Green Bay reaches out and tries to get him back. Like, I know it sounds crazy because they gave Jacobs a lot of money. It wouldn't surprise me if they're like, hey, look, you want to come back? We messed up. Do a 1-2 punch. Yeah, but I think by the way, Green Bay gave Jacobs a lot of money. I thought it was a mistake. I'm gonna level with you. I don't think he cares if he can get the right guy. And Vrabel is available. There's some good offensive minds that are going to be available. I'm looking specifically at Ben Johnson. Remember, the Vikings were the ones that really wanted Drake May to begin with. The offensive coordinator is in Minnesota is going to be a hot name. You could bring over, if you wanted. Let me throw this out at you, Perry. When if you fire Mayo and you bring over the Vikings offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, and I'm drawing a blank on the quarterbacks coach, but he was May's high school coach. And they were the ones trying that. The whole reason they traded back into the first round was that they were trying to trade with New England because they really wanted Drake May. McCarthy was the consolation prize. When if you bring that coaching staff from Minnesota over to New England, all right, and then you fire Jared Mayo, but when if you keep the defensive coaching staff intact except for Mayo? All right, I mean, I'm drawing a blank here right now, but your defensive coordinator, when if you keep him on board, am I having some technical difficulties? Okay, my computer's, I might just be on my end, but hopefully, I've noticed my screen kind of freezing up. It might just be me, but when if you keep the defensive coaching staff the same, except for Mayo, of course, you have a young, talented defense, and you bring in the Minnesota Vikings offensive coaching staff that wanted Drake May to begin with. I have to admit, I'm very high on, by the way, I'm very high on McBride too. It's just that I would hold off. And by the way, like this week, it wouldn't surprise me if Kincaid outproduces McBride. Tough matchup against the Chargers. The trade that you proposed will be available next week. If you do, by the way, Shane, if you listen to Perry and you say, go with McBride, I don't hate you. Let me know what you do. Stay in touch. I hope to hear back from you, and hopefully, you're doing well and you win this week, no matter what. Austin, what's up, brother? Will Tyreek Hill be better fantasy-wise than Amon-Ra St. Brown when Tua comes back? That's a great question. The answer is I have no idea. I would lean towards no, and the reason why I say that is you have offensive line issues in Miami. All right, you do. I mean, it's not a good offensive line. We're talking about A-Chain, Mozart being injured. I have no idea which one's 100%, which one isn't. I'm looking at the way Tyreek Hill's behaved on the sidelines, the way he behaved towards the police officer when he got pulled over. There's a lot of instability there. Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. I will say this: if Miami loses after the bye, if they lose to the Colts, and they drop to 2-4 in this AFC where Buffalo's running away, Baltimore and Pittsburgh look pretty good. Houston looks really good, of course, and then you also have Kansas City. Does Miami say, hey, we talked about teams having a fire sale. Maybe Miami decides to move on. Would they move on from Tua? No, but they have some other players that they could take a look at. They can make some moves. They may just want to. Yeah, I have no confidence that Tyreek Hill's the type of guy that's going to be like, hey, I'm going to give you 100%, even if we're not. Okay, now the Giants injury out indefinitely. What a big blow. So is it possible? Yeah. Do I think it? I would always bank on Amon-Ra over Tyreek. I think it's like a hypothetical question. I don't think Austin's considering trading Amon-Ra for Tyreek. They love the Sun God. They call him the Sun God, but they love that kid. Rhino's Roundtable. Busy, crazy day. Just popping in, say hi for the algorithm. LOL. Rhino's Roundtable. If you're able to, if you're able to fill in on how you feel about Anthony Richardson, Did I hit 2,000? Oh, wow. I was at 1998 before the show. I had no idea. Wow. Thank you, Denver Gator. I wanted Dan and new sub and chat members because everyone joining Afternoon Delight has pushed Dan to a new milestone of 2,000 subs. Keep liking and sharing. Congrats, Dan. Thank you. Wow, I hit 2,000. Unbelievable. Willis has been getting a lot of reps too. I am God. I'm just drawing. I can't. I'm so embarrassed. I'm just drawing a complete blank on who you're referring to. I'm really sorry. Um yeah, Tim Patrick is a guy I absolutely loved. This is a big dude with speed, hands, routes. You're gonna really like this kid. You're really gonna like this kid. Yeah, he's gonna be very valuable, and you got him for nothing. I would not be surprised if the Patriots move on from Mayo and bring in Vrabel. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Wouldn't be surprised at all. I think the Jets will talk to Vrabel. I don't know if he's the right fit for the Jets, but I think they'll talk to him. Um, I mean the Jets have just really kind of whiffed in the coaching department. I'll be honest, I have no idea, but I think they'll talk to Vrabel. I think Vrabel, if the New England job became available, he'll interview, and I think it would be a good fit. So. Thank you so much, man. I didn't know. Yeah, it means sun god. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I didn't mean Mills. I meant the backup running back. Oh yeah. I forgot his name too, but I saw him get some touches, and I was like, man, he looks explosive. He looks faster. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was I got it. Emmanuel Wilson. That's yeah. Yeah, I was watching that, and I was like, God, he looks really good. I don't even know who the hell this is, but he looks faster. Didn't he look faster? But yeah, I get why you wanted to make the move. Good luck. And by the way, I mean with your team, you should be in really good shape. No, I hope that you stay in touch with me, and I want to hear about your dominance on your fantasy football league. Um, Cap for life, man. I'm sorry. I'm kind of geeked out by this. It's kind of funny because like when I first started the channel, I was kind of just documenting things. I wanted to do sports betting. This year I decided that I would kind of switch gears a little bit because my favorite thing to do is to help is use my love of football to help other people make money. And I originally, when I created this channel, I've had this channel for a long time, but I just decided over the last couple of years to try to really be aggressive to try to build it into something more. The goal has always been to try to use my love of the game to make money for other people, whether it's through sports betting, prop bets. But this year is I've kind of switched gears and gone to fantasy football, and I'm geeked out. It's hard to believe that there's 2,000 people that clicked on and hit subscribe. It's I'm kind of choked up, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just going to do like a victory lap for the last couple of minutes. I have such a big ego. I barely be able to get through the door. But yeah, Perry, thank you. It's good to see 2,000 guys. Tell your friends, ask them to check out Dan's channel. Perry, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I watched them play, and I'm like that's the type of player that the Packers wanted in their offense, and that's why they went against Aaron Jones, because he did slow down. I mean, he did slow down, and then you get Josh Jacobs, a guy who's never really been fast. It's kind of funny because he's like 5'9", 5'10", 220, but his game has always been between the tackles. He's a north south kind of old school plow horse. Um, a guy I loved. I mean, he waited his turn at Alabama when they had all these big names. And then, his final year, he was wildly productive, not overly athletic, not overly fast. But yeah, I would love it if you could get Jefferson. But that would be so awesome. I want you definitely to stay in touch, because I fully expect you to win your fantasy football league. And me and everybody in the chat's going to help. Hopefully you're winning a lot of money. I ideally, even if you're in a free league, which I would kind of, but even if it's a free league, a win's a win. But hopefully you're winning a lot of money. Hopefully you're winning a lot of money. Bucky over B Rob only if White is out, plus a third string to some touchdowns. Yeah, I know. That I didn't see that coming. I was like, I didn't know who it was, and then afterwards I was like, oh, okay, I remember watching him at Syracuse. And um I mean, even if White's in, he's going to get some touches. It's tough, because I mean, it's kind of weird because the Commanders right now, it's kind of funny. Brian Robinson's leading the team in rushing by 3 yards. I mean, Jaden Daniels has more. I am actually expecting Jaden Daniels to lead the team in rushing, which is never a good sign. But he's listed as questionable. It all right. So here's the whole thing, and it's not a yes or no answer. You're going against you have a good matchup against Carolina, bad defense. I always recommend, running backs, especially if you get somebody who's a 3-down back against a bad defense. I like the matchup. Even if White's out, I think Bucky Brooks is going to get between 10 to 15 touches. So that's what you got to think about. A guy who's questionable against a bad defense. I'm telling you right now, I know Baltimore traditionally has a really good defense. They don't this year. That defense is not that good. That defense is not that good. I wouldn't blame you if you went over B Rob, but I might lean towards Bucky, even if Robinson plays, because I'm not really sure what they're doing. I mean, they really don't want to use any of the running backs. I mean, he's banged up, so even if he plays, how productive is he going to be? Bucky's going to get 10 to 15 touches. Even if Rachaad White plays, even if that third string running back is fantastic, he's still going to get 10 to 15. You have to figure out, it's a risk reward thing. I think with White, you have the higher floor. With Brian Robinson, you have the higher ceiling, because here's the deal with Robinson. there's a chance you get 100 yards and 3 touchdowns against a bad Panthers defense. There's also a chance you get 5 carries for 11 yards. You don't know. Another thing with Bucky, you get Monday night, and you may be in a situation where you're already up by 30 or 40 points. I wish I could give you a better answer, but if because I do have to wrap the show up. If you think that you're in a situation where you're projected to win, I would go with Bucky. If you want to roll the dice, you can go with Robinson. I would lean towards I'm kind of leaning towards Bucky, to be honest with you. 500, I want to help you win that. Do I do London and A-Chain for Jefferson or Chase? All right. You can go for either one. All right. You remember if I remember correctly, you got vetoed. Which one can you get? You know your league better than I do. Which one is more likely to make the move? I would do either or. I'm leaning towards Jefferson over Chase, and the reason why is that in Jefferson, you play in the dome. I know Detroit's a good team, and I know they held Dallas to 9, but I'm still weird about their secondary. I know Xavier McKinney has like 5 interceptions in 6 games or whatever. I'm not sold on Green Bay's secondary. Bears good defense, yeah. But look at what you got in the AFC North. I mean, I know Baltimore. I'm saying they don't have a good defense. You still got Marlon Humphrey. You still got Kyle Hamilton. You have some good secondary pieces. Pittsburgh's got a good defense. Cleveland has a good defense. I would lean towards Jefferson, but if you can't, because you got vetoed for Jefferson already, you may not get vetoed for Chase. Which, if you can make a move for either or, do it. If you can do either, I would lean towards Jefferson. All right, guys, that's it for Afternoon Delight. By the way, check out my NFL Weekly Picks video. Thank you so much for 2000. I'm so geeked out. Also, I'm sorry, I'm kind of flustered about the 2000. My social media links are below. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter or X. If you have a question, you can drop a comment, and you can also DM me at any time, or you can go old school and shoot me an email at dantalksfootball@yahoo.com. Noah, stay in touch with me tomorrow for Fantasy Football Wednesday. I hope to see everybody back. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.